to go live for the past like 100 years right now, guys. Like, are we live or not? I'm so confused. Anyways, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are good. This is the most confusing thing I have ever done in a while. But yeah, we're live. So today I'm going to be doing a late night Bible study with you guys, and I'm loving it so far. I'm just gonna text a bunch of my friends. We're live. Let's go. Why does it show my face like that? I'm just going to like literally text a bunch of my friends. I cannot see live chats, so I don't know if people are chatting or not. Like, I've never done this in my life. Is this not embarrassing? Is this not embarrassing? I know it is, but you know what? It's all good. Okay. Now I can see. Oh, Dami says he sees me. I just want to tell you guys, shout out to Dami Williams on here. Dami, can you text Emmanuel Oni and tell him that it is working? Emmanuel, if you're here, say yo, what's popping? Emmanuel was like, the devil is a liar. Shout out to Sean. He's saying like, oh, my guy friends came through. Like, they were all like, it's working, it's working. Okay. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for helping me figure this out. Like, I'm a YouTuber and I don't even know how to go live on my own channel. Anyways, that's by the way. In case you're wondering, Amaka, why are you having a whole YouTube live at like 12 a.m.? It's literally 11:57 a.m. here. It is because I have been led to do so, and it's very fun. I'm just going to text one of my friends real quick, super quick here, and just be like, I am live. Hello guys. If you can see me, say hi. If you can see me, say hi, say hello, say hi, say hello. Okay, that's not working. If you can see me, say hi. Dammy, can you see me? I don't know if Dammy's on here or not. Sweet. Okay, I'm just gonna start. So I have been having like these moments where I really want to I really want to like do Bible studies, and I've been procrastinating it. I feel so shy. Like, I feel so shy. And I'm so grateful that God has me starting these Bible studies. Like, let me chill out. But God has me starting these Bible studies really late at night because I feel so shy to do it right now. Like, I feel bold, but I also feel that shyness because I've never done like a YouTube live. So I'm a very big no voice to all this stuff. Anyways, enough of the excuses. Let's just get right into the video, shall we? Is Emmanuel Oni here? I cannot see his comments. Like, I need it to be popping. Let me text him. I'll be like, Emmanuel, where you at? Where are all my people at, please? Where is it at? Emmanuel, go, parada. I'm literally texting my friends on WhatsApp right now because my phone is occupied. And I'm like, we live, baby, let's go, we live. Oh, he's here. Never mind, he's here. Okay. And I have all the support I can get right now. We're good. Okay, so pretty much I was listening to a very amazing podcast called The Basement with Tim Ross. And Emmanuel and I love that podcast so much. Like, it's amazing. And I was listening to the latest episode where he brought on Devon Franklin. And it was a super cool episode. And there's something that Devon Franklin said, and it just got me off. Like, I was clapping throughout the episode that I was watching it. I'm not even done. It's like an hour. It's an hour and 30 minutes long podcast, but I usually watch it on YouTube because I prefer watching podcasts than listening to podcasts, which is very ironic, but whatever. Anywho, I'm listening to this thing and Devon Franklin drops a bomb. He says this. He says that a lot of people in this generation want to they want to withdraw out of an account that they've never deposited into. They want to withdraw. I'm going to put on my teacher glasses here. Hello. Anyways, a lot of people in this generation want to withdraw out of an account that they've never deposited into. And what does that mean today? That means that like a lot of people, hello, all the 5 people watching me, say hi in the chat so I can see you, I can know your name, I can know, like, anywho. And that means that, like, it pretty much means a lot of people want to reap from where they've not sowed into, right? That's just like the biblical way of saying it. And when he said that, I was like, man, that is so true. Because, like, it's so easy for people to say, I want to blow up. I want to be the next big thing. I want to matter. I want to this. I want to that. And then, like, when push comes to shove, when it does come to, like, doing the work on all these things, then, like, a lot of people are nowhere to be found. And even me too, like in so many aspects of my life, or let me not say so many aspects of my life, but in some aspects of my life, like there's times when I want to reap from places that I know that I cannot reap from it because I have not sowed enough. I've not deposited enough into it. And the funny thing is that to the level in which you've deposited from is the level in which you would be able to sow. You'll be able to sow from. I mean, no, you'll be able to reap from, rather. To the level in which you've sowed from or sowed into is the level in which you'll be able to reap from. Does that make sense? Emmanuel and Dami, I want to see people in this chat like, oh yeah, 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 Mama, encourage me because I don't like talking to myself on the screen. Anyway, anywho. Dammy Williams, I need to see you in this chat, bro. Like, I literally FaceTime Dammy and I'm like, jump in here. We all need friends that will literally stay up just to watch our lives. Anyways, so today I'm going to be talking, as you can see from the title, Late Night Bible Study with Amaka. It's literally 12 a.m., guys. Thank you, Emmanuel. Yes, keep putting those comments in there. They're amazing. So today we're going to be studying about the life of Joseph. Not every single aspect of the life of Joseph, but just huge parts in the life of Joseph that, like, I realized that we really need in this generation. So I'm going to be talking about the waiting season and the preparation season. These two seasons, these are the biggest things that make successful people. A lot of people think it's the fame, it's the light that makes successful people. No, it is the waiting season and the preparation season. That is what literally is, that is what, like, is the distinctive, or that's what, like, this, that's what separates people, pretty much. That's what separates the successful or the elite or whatever from, like, basic, ordinary, everyday, mundane people, if that makes sense. So in Joseph's situation here, what separated Joseph and what made Joseph, like, really huge was, like, his waiting season and his ability to prepare. And a lot of people say that, Joseph, he was the person who saved people. He was distinguished. Yeah, distinguished. He was the person who, like, saved the people of Egypt and the whole world, to be honest. And he was the person who really, like, prepared and, helped people get through the famine. But, like, a lot of people don't understand that when the famine had not come, Joseph was preparing for the famine. So Joseph had deposited, my Nigerian accent always comes out when I'm doing Bible study. So if you cannot hear me, hear me. Anyways, it's just vibes and Bible study. Pretty much, like, this is it. You get it. This is as real as it comes. But to the level in which Joseph deposited was the level in which he was able to feed his family and the world plus, 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 plus. And so today I'm going to be really, like, reading a bunch of things to you guys today. So we're going to start from, so I'm going to just pretty much, like, summarize. So Genesis chapter 41, Joseph's life kind of starts to get into the limelight, like, right, into, like, the light. But before then, let me just give you guys a whole, like, summary. Joseph, he is his dad's favorite child. His dad gave him a coat of many colors and everything. His brothers get jealous of him and sell him to Egyptians. Egyptians. He gets there, he becomes a slave in, like, Egypt, and then Pharaoh's wife, which is, like, the king or the president in this day and age, sees him and is like, who is this handsome guy? Let me get to know him, on a immoral level. Anyways, and Joseph is like, no, I don't want you, I don't like you, I don't want wahala, I don't want problem, carry yourself and go. Pretty much, right? And then Joseph gets thrown into jail because the woman literally lies and says that he raped her or he slept with her or something dumb like that, obviously. So Joseph is literally in prison for a crime he never committed, right? Fast forward to um fast forward to chapter 40. He's in prison, and then Joseph realizes that there's a man there that is downcasted. And this is like the really huge thing, because like in order for him to be successful as a successful leader, prime minister, governor that he had to be very attentive at all times. And the thing about Joseph's life was that he did not just start from like all big, oh my gosh, I'm a governor. Like he started from little seeds. Like when he was in prison, he literally asked somebody else, how are you? Why are you downcasted? This you'll find this in like Genesis chapter 40. Joseph is in prison and he goes and he asks somebody else, oh, why are you downcasted? Please, who in prison is asking somebody else, why are you downcasted? What in prison's name will not make you be downcasted while you're in prison? But because of the leadership and the heart of God that he had already, he already started to ask that question. Why are you downcasted? Why do you feel this way? What is happening in your life? Those kind of important questions that he should have been asking. As a natural leader, he asks those questions, right? So number one thing we realize about Joseph is that he is selfless and he is observant. So those are like the two things we realized already in the preparation and the waiting season. Pretty much Joseph tells this man who is downcasted that he interprets this man's dream. And the man says that, thank you so much for interpreting this dream, blah, blah, blah. And Joseph said to him, please, this is verse 14 of Genesis chapter 40. Genesis chapter 40 verse 14 says, only remember me when it is well with you, and please do me the kindness to mention me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this place, and so get me out of this prison. So Joseph pretty much tells this guy who he helps interpret his dream that please get me out of this pit place, get me out of this prison, please, when everything is well with you, please get me out of here and just, take me to Pharaoh, tell Pharaoh about me, all these things. So, downcast. My friend Emmanuel Oni just corrected me. I said something about downcast. He was downcast, he was not downcasted. English is not my forte, but it is my friend's forte. So, thank you so much, guys. I love you all. Anywho, let's keep going. So, Pharaoh says, I'm so nervous, guys. I don't have to do this. Emmanuel just said I'm so awesome, but like, I'm so nervous because I've never done this before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just here. We're just doing this, and I'm hoping that this blesses somebody, because like it better bless you after all the while I've gone through to get this to you. But pretty much, Pharaoh goes, and so pretty much, the guy who Joseph told his dream to, he leaves prison, right? And he forgets all about Joseph. Now, fast forward to Genesis chapter 41. It says that after 2 whole years, Pharaoh dreamt that he was standing by the Nile. So, after 2 whole years, imagine you trying to pitch yourself into a job, and then after 2 whole years, the person that you went to an interview with, or the boss that you went to interview with, or your boss who did your interview remembers you after 2 whole years. 2 whole years, and your life is going downwards in a downward spiral. Is it downward spiral? Emmanuel, be correcting my English as I'm going, because but like literally, Joseph's life is going in a downward spiral. I'm sure there were times when he was anxious. I'm sure there were times when he was probably depressed, quote unquote. Like, I'm sure there were times like, what is even good about prison that he should be laughing and joyful and all those things, right? Like, I'm sure he felt downcast most times, right? But after 2 whole years, guys, 2 whole years, the person that he helped remembers him. The person that Joseph helps remembers him. And this is very important, because a lot of people try to pitch themselves. And this is where my whole sermon and Bible study comes about. Because remember, I said that the title is Waiting on God and Preparation Season. Because like so many times we think we are ready for what we are praying for. But how many of us know that Joseph, quote unquote, kind of prayed that Pharaoh will find him when it is well with this guy? It was pretty much well with this guy 3 days after he left prison, because he was back to being the cupbearer of Pharaoh. So he could have pretty much told Pharaoh that, oh my gosh, I met this guy, he did this for me. But He could have done that, but that was not God's timing. And God's timing is the best time, because according to Joseph, at age 28, because here, Joseph was 28 or 27. He was like around 28, 27 when he told this guy that, please pitch me to Pharaoh. Please let Pharaoh know that I'm here. Please get me out of this place. He was pretty much pitching himself there. And he was like, yo, when everything is well with you, so according to your own time, when everything is well with you, please tell Pharaoh about me. But God's timing is the best time. And what happens after that? 2 years later, Pharaoh has a dream. So if the cupbearer told Pharaoh, I want you guys to understand how like my brain is working with the Holy Spirit right now. Like if the cupbearer had told Pharaoh about Joseph a year ago, 2 years before, immediately he left. If he told him immediately he left, it would have been a wrong timing. It might have been the right place, but wrong timing. But according to God, he did it 2 years after, when Joseph was actually 30 years old. That's when he did it. And then, that's when he did it. My sister just came in the room. I just spoiled my whole flow right here, guys. But anyways, all good. That's when he literally went to Pharaoh. And he was like, yo, Pharaoh, there's actually this guy. And there's something I want to read to you guys. Chidima, can you please close the door? So, this is what the cupbearer said. In Genesis chapter 41, verse 9, he said this. He said, then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, I remember my offenses today. I remember what I should have done today. Like 2 years later, it dawns on this guy that, oh my gosh, I remember the favor that I should have done for Joseph today. I remember that he is a guy who knows how to interpret dreams. So many times we are praying to God for an audience of 1 million. But what if the audience of 1 million you're praying for is not ready for your message? Like, what if the people who you are praying for and the thing, this big breakthrough you're praying for, they're not ready for what you have in store? Not because you are not necessarily ready, which you might also not be ready, but because your audience is not ready, God is not going to give you what you are asking for. Does that make sense today? Like, because Pharaoh's message and Pharaoh's whole thing was not ready yet. Like, his dream was not there yet. Like, the 14 years that it was going to take for this whole thing to happen was not there yet. So in Joseph's own eyes, he might have been sitting out in prison like, oh my gosh, when will God answer me? When will God answer me? When will God answer me? But God was preparing the heart of Pharaoh, the heart of the cupbearer, and the heart of the people. So there was a waiting season involved. So many times we look at ourselves and we spite ourselves and we spite our new beginnings because, see, Emmanuel only said, maybe Joseph got the job the day he chose to help the cupbearer, but his first day at work was not until 2 years later. See that my friends are on a high thing, like so good and so true. Like maybe even long before that, like Joseph was so prepared. Joseph had been prepared a long time ago, but the heart of the people that God had called him to, they were not prepared for the message. So he could not have gone in front of Pharaoh anytime from then. See, even though Joseph ever went in front of Pharaoh anytime before then, he would not have been relevant. He would not have been able to add value yet, because what? Pharaoh did not have a problem. You can only add value to people when they have a problem. When there's a problem, when you're a solution, that's when you can add value. When there's see, if I know everything that you're going to tell me, you're not adding value to me. Do you understand what that means? Like, if I know everything, like, there had to be a problem before there was a solution. So even if I have the solution to the problem, until the problem arises, I cannot be the solution. Like, there is no value. If Joseph arrived a minute early, if Joseph arrived a year early, but he had the solution, there would have been no problem to fix because there was no dream. The problem is the dream. The solution is Joseph. So today, like, you might be asking yourself, like, God, I want to be the solution to this. I want to be the solution to that. Tani, mommy, and dammy. I want to be the solution to this. I want to be the solution to that. Blah, blah, blah. All of these things. I want you to be calm, relax. I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you today. I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you today. Like, there's so many things you're asking God for. But what if the very people that need your solution, that problem has not come to them yet? That problem has not come to them yet. So you are not needed right now. It does not mean you're not valuable. Get it? It does not mean you're not valuable because because the very thing that is on the inside of you has not come out yet. No, it does not mean that. It did not mean that Joseph was not valuable. It did not mean that Joseph could not interpret dreams, because he was already interpreting dreams 2 years before, plus, 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 plus. So he had the value, he was valuable, he was chosen by God, but it was not the right time. It was not the right time. Apostle E.A. Adeboye's prayer for Apostle Joseph Selman was, God will give you a problem only you can solve. Yes, only that. Emmanuel, you're already going ahead of my sermon and Bible study, because this is the next thing I was going to talk about. This is the next thing I was going to talk about here. The thing is that the major thing was not Pharaoh. God orchestrated everything for one person, Joseph. He made this whole problem for Joseph. For Joseph, for Joseph, for Joseph. Like, he planned Joseph's life and he was like, for Joseph, this whole thing will happen. For Joseph to be able to solve this problem, because Pharaoh had magicians, so many people come through, so many people enter there, so many people came to try to interpret Pharaoh's dream. But God orchestrated the whole thing, that it could only be that only God could solve this problem through Joseph. So everything was around Joseph's life. It was not a mistake. It was not a coincidence. Everything was surrounding Joseph's life. But if Joseph got frustrated and left, or became prideful and left, or came out of jail and left and went to somewhere else, then it would have been everything that God had planned. He would have used his own hand to terminate it. But Joseph waited. He did not curse the guy. He did not get annoyed. He did not get angry. He just followed God. And I'm sure when he was in prison, he was serving everybody that he could serve until he came out. See, the character of Joseph did not start when he became a governor, when he became a prime minister, when he got into the place of authority. It started way before the crown was put on his head. What are the seeds you're planting right now? That when the crown is put on your head, it does not crush you, but you sit well on the seat because you are prepared for it. Joseph, when he was in prison, remember what I said when I started? I said that he was able to see that the people were downcasted. He was able to interpret dreams, which means he was serving while he was in distress. He was serving while his life was not going well. So many people, they are like, no, when my life starts going well, that's when I'll start serving people. No. Before the crown gets on your head, you must understand the assignment, and you must have been walking in line with the assignment, so that when the crown comes, people will be like, how did you know? Now, the last part I'm going to mention here, and we're going to all go to bed because it's literally 12:18 in my end, was Joseph finished explaining the dream. Joseph finished telling Pharaoh this. He said, Pharaoh, the whole essence of your dream and the whole thing your dream is all about is that there's going to be a famine for 7 years. And there's going to be a bountiful, let me just read it from what the Bible says here. 7 years. Okay. So, Genesis chapter 41, verse 26. This is a Bible study. Open your Bible, please. The 7 good cows are for 7 years, and the 7 good ears are for 7 years. The dreams are one. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears are for famine. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he's about to do. There will be 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them, there will arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land. So there will be 7 years of plenty, and there will be 7 years of famine. There will be 7 years of plenty, and there will be 7 years of famine. So let's go to the next place here. I'm using the ESV Bible, by the way. Let me just see here. And so, this is pretty much what Joseph says to Pharaoh. Joseph says that, so this is what's going to happen. It's going to be 7 years of plentiful harvest and plentiful, bountiful harvest. And then there's going to be 7 years of famine. So what are we going to do? Because there's going to be famine. That means there needs to be a preparation in the middle here. So this is what happens. Joseph tells Pharaoh that you need a man who is wise. You need a man of authority to gather up all this food. Let me tell you, Joseph is not even thinking he's the one that will be the person to do this job. He sees a problem and he brings a solution. My God, this should be a prayer request for you, that God, as I see a problem, may I also see a solution in the name of Jesus. Because leaders don't just see problems, leaders see solution. As Joseph is interpreting the dream, he's not just interpreting the dream for Pharaoh. He's telling Pharaoh how to solve the problem. God, may I be a problem solver, because it's problem solvers that get to places of authority. It's problem solvers that get to be in leadership positions. It's problem solvers that become successful in life. God, help me to be a problem solver. That God, as I see a problem, I'll not just be a complainer. I'll be a solution bringer. In the name of Jesus, because Joseph was not just a problem seeker. We have a lot of problem seekers in this generation. This person is not doing this. That pastor is not doing this. What have you done for your generation? How have you served your generation? What solutions have you brought to your pastor in your church? Or are you the only person that is always looking at all the problems that are there? What are the solutions you are bringing? I'm letting this hit home for you, because a lot of people see a lot of things wrong with the church, but are you being a solution bringer? Not only are you looking at solutions, because some people know how to bring solutions, but would you be able to serve in those capacities of solutions that you are bringing? It's so easy to say, the government is not doing this, the government is not doing that. What are you doing? What are you doing in your own place to be a solution? Oh, look at how this place is so littered up. What are you doing to pick up the litter even when nobody is looking? Do you understand what I'm saying? Joseph was not just looking at the problems. He was looking at the solutions, and he was bringing up the solutions for Pharaoh to start to think, oh God, this is a prayer request. God, help me to be a solution bringer. It's solution bringers that rule the world. Solution bringer. So, here in verse 37, after Joseph has brought in his proposal, he says, this proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find a man? This is Genesis chapter 41, verse 37, by the way. Can we find a man like this in whom is the Spirit of God? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has shown you all these things, since you have volunteered yourself and you have said all these things, you might as well be the person that will do it, right? Since God has shown you all these things. Verse 40 says, you shall be over my house, and all my people shall order themselves as you command. I will give you my signet ring. I'm going to jump all the way to verse 44. No, I'm going to jump all the way to verse 46. Genesis chapter 41, verse 46 says, Joseph was 30 years old when he entered into service for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. During the 7 plentiful years, the earth produced abundantly. This is the biggest part of all the Bible study. And he gathered up all the food of these 7 years which occurred in the land of Egypt, and put the food in the cities. He put it in every city, the food from the field around it. And Joseph stored up grain in great abundance, like the sand of the sea, until he ceased to measure it, for it could not be measured. So what does this say here? It pretty much says that Joseph prepared. He went out of the sight of Pharaoh, and he went to actually do the job of serving. For 7 years, Joseph was an underdog for Egypt. It's so easy to want to carry the crown, because Joseph was preparing when the land was plentiful and bountiful. And when a famine came, his preparation met opportunity. What was the opportunity? The opportunity was the famine. Preparation met opportunity, and Joseph was able to serve his people. What are you doing right now in this place of plentiful? Hello. Somebody's name is called God. Hi, God. But anyways, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing? But Joseph, I hope you guys are getting what I'm saying here today. When when everybody was sleeping, Joseph was working. When everybody was awake, Joseph was sleeping. Because you're not God. Anyways, when Joseph was sleeping, everybody was in an uproar. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? 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 So, the comments are getting very weird here. And I'm going to end here by saying that we should prepare for God to use us. When people are sleeping, what are you doing? Now that your mates are here, now that your mates are, if you got, wàhálà ni mo kóra mi sí pẹ̀lú live on YouTube. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. It's the weirdest ever. But before I close out, I just want to say, please give your life to Jesus. All these people who are weird in my comment section. But hopefully, before I end this live today, I just want to let you guys know, as I said before, that we should please and please and please prepare. We should prepare for the land in which God has called us to. We should prepare. We should not just wait for the famine to come before we start to prepare and all of these things. No, we should prepare beforehand. Before the famine comes, we should prepare, because when nobody was looking at Joseph, Joseph was preparing. When nobody was looking at Joseph, Joseph was preparing. Joseph was preparing. Even when he was given the position of authority, Joseph still went to hiding, and he went to collect all the plants, all the plentiful harvest. He went to go and collect it, so that when it is time for the people of Egypt to be when it is time for the people of Egypt to be hungry, he's able to feed them. What are we doing now? What are you sowing right now that your generation can reap 2 years from now? That your generation can reap 3 years from now? You know, that your generation can reap years from now. It is very, very important for us to be able to do that. So I'm just going to remove some weird guy who is commenting on my video here. A weird person. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but I'm just going to remove them. Thank you very much. But yeah, guys, this has come to the end of my video for today. Now I have to take into consideration that when you're doing a live on YouTube, weird people can come in. So, yeah. Thank you very much, guys, for watching this. I hope it's blessed you, and I hope that we understand the difference between like being in a season that God has called us to. There are two different seasons. There's a season of waiting, and there's a season of preparation. Joseph knew how to handle these two seasons well, and that's why when God blessed him, he was able to carry the crown, he was able to carry the position, and he was able to be successful. So thank you guys so much for watching this video to the end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And hopefully we do this another time when there aren't a lot of weird people on my YouTube. But oh good, I deleted all their comments so you guys can see it. But yeah, let me know if this blessed you guys. And yeah, this was great. God bless you for obeying and doing this. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for sticking to the end. You're amazing. Bye. Hopefully I get to end and save this.